This is the 5th video about an NEQ-6 belt modification. It's in a series of 7, so you might like to check out the other ones first. In this stage of the project, we'll be installing a belt onto the deck worm shaft. We also have to replace the brass pulley with an aluminium one for the belt. I'm also replacing the bearings on the shaft. After that, we'll replace the deck axis onto the upper housing, leaving only a hole where the motors will go. So let's start. Okay, this is the start of stage 5, where we modify the deck worm housing and the assembly, but first we have to separate the deck worm housing, that's this guy, from the main axis, the deck axis. So to do that, we remove the deck axis clutch, and then that should, once we give it a bit of loosen, it should just come straight off. Let's see. Come on, there we go, that's that. It's a bit stiff. I probably should have done that before, shouldn't I? There we go. That'll probably do. Hopefully this should just lift off. Yes, it does. Now let's see. There's a shim there. I don't want to lose that. There's no shim underneath that, so there we go. I'm just going to leave that shim where it is. I can probably leave the setting circle where they are, where it is as well. I'll just get rid of this grub screw. Right, and then take that off. Now I'll clean that shortly, and I'll clean this as well, but I need to take some photographs of this before I go on. So I'm going to break the cameras and be back soon. Okay, I've cleaned that up. I'll grease that shortly. Next thing I have to do is take this apart pretty much completely, because we're going to be replacing the bearings. So let's see. First of all, get me a little thingy to remove the end caps. Easy. I must have pre-loosened that one. And next one. That one's okay as well. I must have pre-loosened that one as well. Make sure I don't lose my little end caps. Okay, now the locking ring is there, so the ring is on that side. Now this might be difficult, or it might be easy. It's quite easy. There's the ring. Now we loosen this completely, and that way we can take the axis out, or the axle out. Yeah, there's one of the bearings, and that way I can probably just belt this with a hammer. That's because we're not quite off the end yet, I don't think. One of the grub screws. I'll take them right out. I won't be needing them after this. Okay, I just had to give it a bit of just a gentle tap, and that bearing came out. So now there's the the wheel that's going to be removed, and there's the housing itself. And what I'm going to do now is go and clean this up and grease it. I'll grease this guy at the same time, and then I'll get everything back together. That's pretty dirty. It's fairly yep, needed it. Okay, here we are. I've greased stuff, and including this, I've cleaned it all up nicely. And just to show, I've sort of set it up as it's going to go with the new bearings on both sides. Or there's the locking key, a locking clip, and this is the new 47-pin wheel as it's supposed to go. So now what I'll do is just take those out. They can go over there. They can go over there. Now this has got the flat bit marked. I don't know if you can see it, but I've just marked that with a little texter. So now what we do is put this on there, making sure that there's about 1 millimeter of gap there. So now I'll get that out. Oh no, we don't do it yet until we put it into there, do we? Anyway, let's put in one of these new bearings. There we go. That's on. Now I'll just screw this in gently for the moment, so the whole thing doesn't come falling apart. Right. Now, let's see, we have to withdraw it to the point where this can come back to, oh, okay, I have forgotten, following famous footsteps, I've forgotten to put the belt in. Okay, here we are back after installing the belt. Okay, here we are. The belt is on. It's separated from both sides of the casting. It moves. Okay. I think that the new SKF bearings are a little bit. They're smooth, but there's resistance. I don't know how the motors are going to handle that. We'll have to see. All right. Let's put it onto the shaft. Here's the shaft. Now, I've left it pretty much as I found it. Withdraw that a fraction, I'll be able to get this guy in there, thusly. Screw that back up again so that it doesn't come off. Right. Don't need to move those. Now, what goes on first? This one just drops straight on there, I think. I will check this later. Like that. And then this bearing goes down there with the shims. It goes in quite nicely. Right. And you can see the worm gear is able to do its bit there. Good. Now, there is one more bearing that goes onto the RA, so the deck housing. I'll put that up in a minute. It goes outwards that way. So I'm going to change camera angles now to put all this assembly back onto the main housing. Right, here we are with the camera angles. I've greased where the bearings will go, both there and on the thrust bearing at the bottom. So the next thing to do is carefully put the deck worm housing and the main assembly of the saddle and everything into the main housing. I'll do a couple of things at the same time. I will make sure that this bearing doesn't come out, and I've also got to make sure that this belt here goes through that slot. So let's see what we can do. I've got my trusty tweezers. There you go. Maybe if we put the thrust in there, it'll help keep the whole thing square. Yes, it did. That was a good tip. Okay, now just check in there that the belt is through. There's the belt there, and there's the belt from the other side. I'll take a photograph of that in a moment, but first of all I will put this onto there, otherwise it'll fall to bits. You can see that there's axial play there. That's what we're supposed to be getting rid of. That's fairly close actually. Finger tight. Now, looking for axial play here. Not a lot. If we tighten it up a bit, I feel that is not quite as nice as that. So now we've got a 2.5 metre Allen key, millimetre. Tighten these ones up. Right, there we have it. That's this stage. Oh, I'll replace this. I suspect that that's the backlash, which we haven't. We've just left these very untight. So that will do for this stage. Next, we're going to be working on the motors. So this can go to one side.